guys, it's Erin, and this is Dodger's Show. Whoa. Wow. Dodger asked me to come on and fill in for her as she is still in England for her birthday / CoxCon. So I am here to talk anime news for you guys. Woo! Give you some anime news and basically just weave the place up because that's what I'm good at. So let's get started. For my first bit of news, it's been a few months since we last had a Hollywood is making a live-action anime adaptation rumor. So it's about time one popped up. Well, what's the next anime getting the Hollywood treatment, you ask? Why, it's none other than the Hokage of all anime, Naruto. Believe it! Variety announced in an article this week that Lionsgate has officially sealed the deal on the rights to adapting Kishimoto's popular shonen series for the big screen. Set to direct is Michael Gracie, who's mostly done visual effects work up until this point, but is currently dipping his toe into the director's role as he's working on several upcoming films, including an Elton John biopic. Ooh, tiny dancer. Now I am, and probably always will be, in the camp of being cautiously optimistic when it comes to Hollywood adaptations of anime. I would honestly really enjoy and love to see a series that I adore made for the big screen, made live action for the big screen. But I want it to be good. I want it to be handled with care, like these people actually give two rats' booties about the show and aren't just doing it for a cash grab. I think what makes me most weary about them choosing Naruto to adapt is that the story is so long and there are lots of different storylines at play that to try and compress it into a single movie or even a trilogy is going to result in tons of butchered character development and not enough time to explain the world to people who aren't necessarily familiar with the lore. Obviously, Naruto is insanely popular both in Japan and in North America, basically throughout the entire world. It's popular pretty much everywhere. So I understand why they would choose to adapt it because of that, but I just think there are so many other series that Hollywood has the opportunity to create for the big screen that would translate much better. Attack on Titan, for example, which I know just got a Japanese live action, but with a Hollywood budget, the special effects on that could be absolutely fantastic. And then there's also Death Note, which Hollywood has had the right to make a live action adaptation for like the last 8 years or something like that, and that's a story that could translate incredibly well and attract different kinds of audiences. Also, James Cameron, whenever he finishes up making all of those Avatar movies, he's been talking about making an adaptation of Battle Angel Alita for years because he's a huge fan of the manga, and that would be really freaking fantastic and awesome. And now that we read the Battle Angel Alita manga for Manga Pod, I'm craving it. I want it and I need it in my life. There's a lot of untouched potential for big blockbuster / well-produced films within the anime and manga market, but I just don't see Naruto being one of those. I see it being much more of a Dragon Ball evolution / speed racer thing than an Edge of Tomorrow. Do let me know in the comments down below what your dream Naruto cast would be. I just vote that Anna Kendrick plays everybody. In way more awesome anime movie news, by this past Wednesday, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, the latest movie in the Dragon Ball franchise, had earned a 2-day total of $3.5 million since it began its limited theatrical run the day before. That 2-day total was already $1 million more than Battle of the Gods, the previous Dragon Ball Z movie that came out last year, had in its entire theatrical run. The most freaking dope thing about this, though, is that those numbers put the film at number 5 for overall box office gross on Wednesday, which, you know, isn't as impressive as saying overall weekend box office gross, but in context, it's still pretty freaking cool. I don't really have any other commentary to add to this story. I just wanted to bring attention to it because I think it's so neat to see an anime film premiere so high and do so well. The fact that a movie for a franchise can come out 20-some years after the initial show ended and rank number 5 in a foreign country is just really awesome, and it just really shows how important Dragon Ball was and still is to the medium of anime and manga, and how much of an impact it had on so many different people over the last 30 years. Even if you aren't a fan of DBZ, you have to admit how incredible that is. And if you are a fan of the series, then you need to go and check out Dragon Ball Super if you haven't already, because holy aioli, the nostalgia feels, and go 10. P.S. I would like to just casually mention that Resurrection F currently has a better rating than the new Fantastic Four movie on Rotten Tomatoes. I know that Resurrection F only has 8 reviews total, I think, and Fantastic Four has just hundreds more, but I still think it's hilarious on so many levels. Now, this bit of news didn't come out in the last week or so. In fact, I think it came out 2 weeks ago, but I don't care because I do what I want, because I'm just so low hyped for this series that I need to talk about it just as much to get you guys hyped for it, because it's gonna be so good. The second trailer for One Punch Man dropped on July 31st, giving us more of a glance into Madhouse's adaptation of the popular manga of the same name. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the story, One Punch Man follows Saitama, a superhero who is incredibly unsatisfied with life because he defeats every single one of his enemies with, you guessed it, one punch. In the promo video, we get an actual taste for what the animation is going to look like, as well as a preview of the humor and more of the expansive cast. Personally, I'm not blown away by the animation, especially during the quick shots of action scenes that we've gotten to see, but I still feel that it looks pretty strong. I think it would be difficult for any studio to replicate the epic art that the manga has, because it basically plays like an anime all on its own. It's like a little picture book when you're reading it. It's, oh god, it's so good. And Madhouse, at the very least, is doing a really good job of bringing the style of visuals to life, especially with Saitama's facial expressions, which they are nailing so far in all the previews that I've seen, and those are really important, so that's a thumbs up. What really stands out from the previews, though, is the comedy. Madhouse has proven numerous times with series in the past that they are really great at both quick wit and visual gags, both of which are heavily ingrained into One Punch Man's comedy. So if nothing else, that continues to hype me up for the series. The One Punch Man anime will be premiering in October of this year, and if you have not checked out the manga, I highly recommend doing so, because it is hands down best superhero manga ever. You will laugh your booty off for hours. It's a really fast read. Do make sure to get the one with Yusuke Murata's art, because it is drool/god worthy. For my last bit of news, I bet you guys thought I was gonna go yet another news without doing a Kuroko no Basuke story, but you guys are so wrong, because I do what I want, suckers. Ow, that didn't work nearly as well as I thought. There we go. This weekend at the Smash convention in Australia, Madman Entertainment announced that they have licensed the Kuroko no Basuke anime. The show will stream on Anime Lab, followed shortly after by a home release from Madman. As of right now, there are no plans for an Australian dub, but the series will be available sub on DVD, which is way more than we in America can say. I am freaking stoked that Kuroko no Basuke has been licensed in Australia, because I love the series so much, and I think it should be licensed everywhere so that everyone can experience the beauty of it. It just blows my mind that, especially in North America, no company has picked up the licensing rights for it, considering how immensely popular it is in Japan, and also how well the DVDs and Blu-rays sold over there. Even the manga hasn't been licensed, despite being the second highest selling manga in Japan in 2012. It beat Naruto that year by more than 2 million copies, and it went on to rank in the top 5 in both 2013 and 2014, which is the year that the series ended. I understand that there's a lot of hesitation from companies to invest into sports anime and manga, because there hasn't been the greatest track record with them. Nearly every single sports anime or manga that was brought over in the 1990s and 2000s bombed. It did really bad in terms of sales. However, this isn't now isn't back then. There's a lot more of a demand, and the popularity of sports anime has grown exponentially over the last 5 years, and I personally believe it's going to continue to do so. Luckily, there are some companies who are recognizing the value that sports anime and manga have. For example, Sentai licensed Haikyuu last year. Funimation has been licensing both Ping Pong the Animation and Free Eternal Summer, and Discotek licensed Yawapeta late last year. So I just can't figure out why it is that Kuroko no Basuke, despite its popularity and ability to sell well, is getting the shaft and isn't getting licensed in North America. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it, and I just want it to get licensed. I don't want a dub. I don't care if it has a dub or anything. I just want to be able to buy the DVDs subtitled so I can own them and support it, because this is my favorite anime manga in the entire world. I just want to do it. So yeah, basically the entire summary of this news story is that Australia, I am stupidly jealous of you and am living vicariously through you. So every single one of you better go and buy the Kuroko no Basuke DVDs the second it comes out. It's your mission. It is your mission. Okay guys, that is it for this anime news video. Thank you to Dodger for allowing me to once again come back and just talk anime on her channel. It's always such a fun time, and thank you to you guys for being so receptive. I always feel incredibly welcomed when I come on here, and that's a really neat feeling. So thank you for that. If you would like any more of this lady's weirdness, you can find me as Happily Aaron all across the everything. I am basically a YouTube anime weeb. I do anime related content, so anime reviews, anime vlogs, first impressions, and also host a podcast called Manga Pod Book Club, which your lovely usual host Dodger is a co-host on, and she's absolutely amazing at it. I recently posted my summer 2015 anime season response video where I talk about 7 different anime from this season, so if you're interested in that, please check it out. But that's it for me. I hope you guys are having a fantastic anime-filled day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye!